My name is Jill Moe. I'm the director of the Desert Farming Initiative at the Experiment Station as part of the College of Agriculture, Biotechnology, and Natural Resources at the University of Nevada, Reno.
Hi, my name is Lance Owahi. I'm a 2022 IEC summer intern. I'm also a farm worker for DFI. I'm a current junior at the University of Nevada, Reno. My majors are forest ecology and wildlife ecology. Um, I started on this project with the interest of working with native plants, and from there it stemmed onto this giant project of food sovereignty.
The Desert Farming Initiative is a 5-acre demonstration and research farm, and we handle projects ranging from formal research on crop varieties suited to the high desert climate we're in, to food safety, food sovereignty, and providing students with practical experiences in their fields of work, including agriculture and environmental science, as well as nutrition. So the Food Sovereignty Project at DFI started in 2021. It was initiated by Indigenous students on campus, and the initial goals are to raise awareness around traditional food and medicinal plants from this region, as well as establish plantings on campus that could be used for education and interpretive tours, I would say. This project is supported by the U.S. National Institute of Food and Agriculture and a grant that the federally recognized extension program received initiated this project. And then once DFI got involved, we started reaching out to tribal communities as well as the Indigenous students that came forward with these interests. And in doing that, got connected with national organizations like the Intertribal Agriculture Council and Intertribal Nursery Council. And those connections have been really valuable to at least just, it's reassuring to know that there's work like this happening across the country. We've gotten connected with Montana State University and Idaho State University Indigenous students. And organizations like the Intertribal Agriculture Council are supporting this work on a regional and national basis. So really appreciate that connection.
Working on this project, the Food Sovereignty Project with DFI, has been such a learning experience for me as I'm learning how to do new things along with how to apply some knowledge that I already had into this project. So for example, I had to learn how to properly use gardening tools, how to do different germination trials with different solutions of water or alcohol, bleach, and all that. I had to learn how to properly mix soil to have enough nutrients for plants. So like doing the whole tilling process and then adding compost to that and then making rows, and then it was a whole experience of learning how to do new things. I'm glad that I was able to do that because from that I was able to apply that knowledge and the knowledge I had about native plants in our area to make something that hasn't really been done before. Some of the goals that I have for this project are not only just to get these plants onto campus, but to also figure out proper ways to propagate and continue to grow these plants that we have already, and also look into future plants of interest, more importantly cultural interest of surrounding tribes. So another goal that I have is applying some cultural knowledge that we lack in our project and apply that to our farm, or whether that be signs of plants in native languages such as Washa, Shoshone, or Paiute. Uh, Applying, different stories that we have about these plants to have around that we can teach at events. And that's another goal that I have, is to continue to put out these events where we have community members, university students, and staff, and everyone to learn about these plants, as a lot of it has been lost over the years, that knowledge. This project is going to go way on longer than my own college career, and I want to have that good base of starting and then having to pass it over sometime in the future.
As we started working on those initial goals, we reached out to tribal communities as well as working with Indigenous students here in this area, and have been able to start working towards goals, I think, that are broader. And those include figuring out ways to propagate plants of cultural interest here and share those plants across the region to tribal communities. We've also branched out and started working with national and other regional organizations to collaborate and share information as we work on this. I find this work really important, not only just for this region, but as part of a national movement to advance food sovereignty. And by that I mean making sure that all people have access to healthy, culturally appropriate and sustainable food, and that they have choices and power over those food sources. I've just found this really an enriching experience, not only for the Indigenous students working with us here and using DFI as a platform and a place to really explore these interests, but it's also been really, I think, heartening and motivating for students in general who are here, as well as faculty. We've had more tours in the last year and a half since we started this project, and the food sovereignty plants and project are always a point of interest on those tours. I guess in general, I see this as a really long-term project. I'm working to set it up as not just a project, but a program that will continue in perpetuity, and that we can continue advancing and learning from, so that these plants of cultural interest are better accessed by tribal communities and students, and that Indigenous students feel at home here on the UNR campus.
So there's a lot of goals that I have in mind, but they're all achievable, and I feel that working with DFI and continuing our work with tribal members and tribal organizations will seal those goals